Welcome to day 2 of our Play the Keyboard Challenge. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video. I know it was packed with information, and by now, if you did follow along with that video, you should be able to know how to play the major and minor chords on the white keys with your right hand. So today, for our day 2 challenge, we're going to learn how to use your left hand alongside your right hand as you play the major and minor chords. And then we'll also learn a few basics of keeping time in music. And of course, you're going to play a new song today. So make sure you download your chord sheet that I sent you in your email, as well as the worksheet that I also sent you in your email. And if you haven't received any email from me, make sure you sign up below in the details, and you should get that in your inbox. All right, let's get to it. Today, let's cover the left hand, and we'll start with the formula. From our root note, which in this example, as you can see, is a C, we take 3.5 steps, which brings us to our second note, which is a G in our example. From there, you take 2.5 steps, which is a C in our example. So that is the scale tones of 1-5-1, or also known as the 8. The top note on your right is your 8th, because if you count from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another way to look at it, your 1 and your 8 are the same note, except they're 1 octave from each other. And then to add your 5, you would look to skip 2 white keys below it to find your 5. So let's move on. We'll see further here. Our fingering is going to be 5-2-1 because, again, we're using our left hand. So your pinky is your 5, your G is your 2, and your C is your finger 1, which is your thumb. I'll show you a demonstration after we get all these down for you. So get the rest of them. Basically, you're playing the same 1-5-1 structure on your left hand, whether you're playing a major or a minor chord. For your D major or minor, you'll have D, A, D. For E, we will have E, B, E. If our root note is F, F, C, F. So you would look for 2.5 steps between your second note and your last note. So easy way to do it, look for your end notes, your 1 and 8, and then look for the 2 in the middle. How about G? What will we have? If we start with G, we have a G at the bottom and at the top. What's our middle note? G, D, G. Now we have A. With A, we will have A, E, A. And finally, B, one thing to watch out for is it's the only one among the ones we're studying today that has a black key, B, F sharp, B. So here's what we want to try right now, just with your left hand. Play the major and minor chords on the white keys with your left hand using the 1-5-1 scale tones. So let me play this video for the demonstration. In this video, I will demonstrate for you how to play your left hand with your major and minor chords. You want to use scale tones 1-5-1, which for a C major or minor, that is your C, G, and C. Also, for the sake of uniformity, we will start with the C that is 2 octaves below our middle C. So if this is your middle C, you want to count 1, 2 C's below that. That'll be your note that you're playing with your finger 5. And then you'd like to play the G with your finger 2, and your C, which is the octave up. Your first note there will be with finger 1. Okay, so again, our C major or minor will both be played with fingers 5, 2, 1, which is the 1-5-1 of your scale tones. Now let's go to D. We're just moving everything up by a whole step. So D, we have D, A, D. Notice there's 2 notes, white notes, between your 5 and your higher 1. So that's an easier way to look at it. Let's go to E. Let's bring everything up a whole step. Again, you have those 2 white keys in between your 5 and your higher 1. So E, B, E. F is going to be a half step up from E. we've got F, C, F, 2 white notes. G, got G, D, G. Here's your 2 white notes in between. A, it's going to be A, E, A. And B, this is the more challenging one because you have to watch for the black key that's used in it. So we've got B, F sharp, B. And you still have those 2 white keys in between. So you have a half step below your 2 white keys that you're looking for. Okay, so again, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Let's do that again. Play it with me. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, so now let's try putting both hands together. What we'll do is play the major and the minor on our right hand, corresponding with how we just demonstrated to play our left hand. So for instance, for C major, we will do C major, C minor. So the left hand stays the same with either chord. Okay, so let's do them all on the white keys. C major, C minor, D major, D minor, E major, E minor, F major, F minor, G major, G minor, A major, A minor, B major, B minor, and finally C major, C minor. So practice it that way. You want to say the name of the chord as you're playing them so that you can get more familiar with them. Let's try it again. C major, C minor, D major, D minor, E major, E minor, F major, F minor, G major, G minor, A major, A minor, B major, B minor, C major, C minor. Keep practicing that until you get familiar with them, where you don't have to think too much on what you're doing, and that'll help you a lot. All right. So about keeping time in music. First, we have a bar line, what is called a bar line. It's a vertical line, looks exactly just like the line inside the parenthesis that sections music out into measures. And what is a measure? A measure is a section of music that holds the amount of beats indicated by the time signature. What then is a time signature? Time signature tells us how many beats per measure we have to count. So for a 4/4 time signature, which looks exactly like a fraction, your top number tells us we have to count 4 beats per measure. Your bottom number, which we don't really apply in our class because we're not reading notes, but it tells you which note gets 1 beat in a measure. So again, for a 4/4 time signature, which is also known as common time signature, or you'll sometimes see it at the beginning of a measure as just the letter C, that is understood in music as 4/4 time signature. For that, you will have 4 beats per measure. And for 3/4, you will have 3 beats per measure. For 6/8, you'll have 6 beats per measure. So for example, let's look at your chord sheet for a second here. I'm going to count out the intro for you. So we have a 4/4 time signature. For our first measure, we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Second measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. So each bar line tells us to repeat the process of counting 4 times. So based on what we just learned today, using your left hand, what we learned last week using your right hand, and then also counting measures, we're going to apply that to the song ABBA. And let me just show you the video real quick as a demonstration. Let's learn how to play ABBA, a song by Jonathan David Halser, in a simplified version that will make it easier for you to apply what we just learned with using your major and minor chords on both hands. We have 3 different chords used in this song. First one is C. So on your right hand, we have a C, E, G. For your left hand, you'll be playing the C, G, C. We have an F. So for your right hand, you'll have F, A, C. For your left, you'll be playing F, C, F. And we have a D minor. So on the right, it'll be D, F, A. While on the left, you'll be playing D, A, D. Also, I want you to learn this song by breaking it up into the different sections that you have in your chord sheet. So we have an intro, we have the verses, we have the pre-choruses, and we have the choruses. The intro, the verses, and the pre-choruses are all played the same way. So that will make it easier for you. So how are those played? We only have 2 chords for those sections, and each chord gets 2 measures each. This is at 4/4 time signature, so each measure will have 4 counts. So let's try it first on the right hand. We have C. So for C, we will count it 4 times twice. And then we also have an F, which will also allot 4 counts twice. So let's start with a C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the left hand, I'd like you to just hold the note for the duration of the measure. So for C, we will have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try it together. So for your left hand, again, you're holding the notes for the duration of the measure. For the right hand, you will be playing it as you count the beats for the measure. So here's what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to F. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that covers our intro, our verses, our pre-choruses, and which goes back into the intro before playing the chorus. So the chorus, we have 3 chords. We have the C and the F, which we've already covered. We also have a D minor. So for your D minor, it's held for 1 measure. Again, this is the simplified version. So you might see other versions out there that have additional chords, but I just wanted to make it easier for you. So for the D minor, we'll also count it for 4 counts. So we'll be playing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's start from the beginning of the chorus with the C for 2 measures, the F for 1 measure, and the D minor for 1 measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, D minor, 2, 3, 4. And when you end the song, you just go back to the C. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once you're comfortable doing each section, you want to put the whole song together. So let's start with the intro. Again, our first chord is a C. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Back to C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Let's go into verse 1. You're more real than the ground I'm standing on. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're more real than the wind in my lungs. Let's repeat verse 1. You're more real than the ground I'm standing on. You're more real than the wind in my lungs. Let's go into pre-chorus. Your thoughts define me. You're inside me. You're my reality. Intro. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go into the chorus. Abba, I belong to you. D minor. Abba, I belong to you. D minor. Let's repeat the chorus. Abba, I belong to you. D minor. Abba, I belong to you. D minor. And let's end in C. Very good. I'm sure you can do it. Just take your time, learn each section, and then put them all together.